I've seen way too many people bagging incredibly awful discs, so today I decided to tell you guys what discs you should actually be throwing. Just like the Pixar movie, the Soul kinda sucks. Entices you with the concept and then just shits the bed. Go with the Paradox instead. Feels way better in the hand, and that's not just because Axiom has way better plastic than Discraft, which is sad to say since Discraft has like 90 different variations. Curls might be for the girls, but when's the last time you've seen one on the disc golf course? Which feels like a dick thing to say, yet my statement still stands. I'd much rather see you bag in the Wraith. I know it's all reliable, but the extra fade will allow for more trust in windy situations, and I hate to be the guy that says this, but Innova Plastic is better than that Texas Oilfield stuff. The only person I've ever known to throw the Centurion was my homeboy Justin, who happened to be ranked 9th in the collegiate rankings before he graduated. That's not even the coolest part about him. The guy can do a backflip. Unless you can do that, I would suggest the Clash Disc Soda. More turn will allow for better line crafting with dependable fade at the end of its flight. Who the hell throws DGA? Leave it to the Juggalo. If you're gonna throw discs made for the 90s, let's just check out the turn. A bit less speed, but makes up in glide to help get a further flight with less effort. Hard to argue that vague statement anyone could say about any disc. But what about when I say it also doesn't take as much power, and even a slower arm can flip the turn over? Bet you never heard that before. Since for some reason you're bagging the Pyro, let's switch that to a Multa, which should carry straighter for longer with a dependable fade every flight. Plus, it's got Macbeth's name on it, so it's hard for people to make fun of you. Then again, you're probably used to that, you know, for bagging the Pyro and all. Unless we're talking about the Innova CD3, get rid of it for the Cesar. And please not in fucking green. Your card mates will be thanking me later for that one. It's pretty much the same disc with more plastic options to choose from. You also wouldn't have to worry about anyone else throwing the same disc as you, which I see as a positive really. But like I said, if you're rocking Innova made Discmania, keep that in my bag until it's gone, my guy. Jeez, you're seriously bagging a River? Let's fix that real quick. How about the TL? Not that overpriced Sorry Simon, I didn't mean it. Fuck man, you sound like my ex-girlfriend, expecting a text back every 30 minutes. Half a month sounds more like me. Everyone in my life that actually texts me knows that joke hits harder than someone who bags a River should be. What's wrong with everyone who bags Latitude thinking they're better than everyone else? Shit, is that what people think of me? Now I get why people don't like me. The Discraft Zone. Oh no, I think I've stumbled upon the perfect wait, what's that? Another one? And another? And another? Shit. All these Zone replicas have turned me into DJ Khaled. Almost like the disc isn't all that special. Yeah. I'm not gonna tell you to replace this disc. If you guys are wondering why, pretty simple when my boy Gavin Rathbun over here is coming off a 3rd place finish and 4 other top 10s on the Pro Tour this year. Seems like your discs are working out pretty well. But I will say, you should check out the Wild Honey since you can bag whatever you want. Also, shout out for interacting. I'm not sure if you actually watch these videos or not, but since you rock that stash, I'm assuming you're pretty good at watching. It's just typically a bit farther away, and closer to a school. You might be the homie, but that doesn't mean I can go easy. Now let's keep it up this season. And if you guys want to see me roast Gavin's bag, make sure to go let him know. Maybe we can make it happen one day. I can't believe another person is out here with a DGA disc. A Pipeline this time. Sounds like you need to get yourself a T-Bird 3. Gets a more consistent flight, but while it gets more beat in, can still hold angles without turning into a cut roller. Plus, you can get fancy with the different plastics. If you're looking for a more overstable finish, or one that you can chuck hard with no worry of turning over, I suggest the Metal Flake plastic. When it beats up, you'll get nice hyzer flips that don't completely turn over. Instead, it'll stand up with a natural soft finish. Or if you want something with a different feel but similar flight, check out the Halo ones. Like I said, same shit, different feel. Can you tell I like T-Bird 3s? I can't believe you wasted your money on this fading hunk of junk. Sorry Simon, I really do love you. I guess if we're looking for that type of flight, the Rive is the closest I've seen. Drew tells me the Royal Plastic is nice, and I trust what he has to say. He even likes it over the Axiom stuff, saying the Royal line takes a beating better, so you can throw it in all the trees you want. And knowing you guys, that'll be a good thing. You seriously still bag a Nuke? You do realize we're in 2024, right? It's really not a flex to get the Nuke to go 250 feet with the full flight. You can literally bag anything else. The Force might be the diet version, but still miles better. That being said, get yourself a Cloudbreaker. Has more turn for a better, longer flight while still being able to trust the overstability. Plus, the stamp will be way cooler. You can even get real nerdy about the different runs if you wanted to. Personally, I wouldn't, but I gave up on Discmania once they left Innova. I'm taking that fire as you trying to burn this disc, which I'm glad you're looking to replace that charger. I'll point you to one of its cousins, the Pharaoh. These guys are so close, they could be from Alabama. The Pharaoh has more turn and glide, which will produce a much better flight before its eventual fade. Watch your hyzer flip woods game elevate since you don't need crazy power in order for the Pharaoh to achieve its ideal flight. Gross. Dynamic. Let's fix that problem real fast. And honestly, this is probably the easiest one yet. The Firebird needs to be in your bag ASAP. I think this might be the disc you've been missing. Super dependable even if a headwind is ripping you in the face. And come on, the hand feel is like comparing my chest to Sydney Sweeney. It's just not a competition. And for your other disc, this might be a big assumption, but fuck it, I have faith. If you have the arm speed to handle the Raider, the Destroyer can help you get a better flight. But you should do your research before purchasing, and then right before you buy it, pray to Disc Golf Jesus you get a good run. As a Destroyer enthusiast, I am well aware of the inconsistencies. I'm just not one to bitch about it. I'm a fan of the randomness, because nothing can beat the feeling of joy of when you finally pull that good one. It's like scratch-offs, and I'm just as addicted. So you're one of those people that bought a Grace because you saw Kristin Tattar's name on it. Well, I guess it's good you're trying to correct your wrongdoings. Thankfully, it's pretty simple. Just go buy a Wraith. Just like that, all your problems solved. The Votum? Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck that is, but seems pretty basic, so I'll give you the white bread of discs. The Thunderbird. Little turn even when thrown with full power, yet still wants to fade. Gets even better when they beat in from all the crazy lines this disc will hold. Hey dummy, were you just listening to what I said like 30 seconds ago? If not, just rewind. The Grace isn't a good enough disc to make me be original again. You might laugh at this next suggestion, but I would like to remind you that this is a dynamic disc and you actually have it in your bag. So I better not hear shit when I tell you to bag the Groove instead. You know what? Get yourself one in Halo plastic too. That's so fucking cool to be able to say. Thanks to Disc Golf Jesus, of course. But yeah, need I say more? The Groove is just better. I've told some people to bag the Turn earlier, so if you're still listening, what you should really do is bag the Wild Honey. You know, the greatest disc ever made. Most people have slower arms than they would like to admit, and more disc golfers should try to intentionally slow down their arm because then their form would be much better. That being said, the Wild Honey was made for you guys. Personally, I'm a connoisseur, so I don't want to hear any bitching about it being too flippy. No shit, that's the fucking point. The times I love to take it out most is for those tightly wooded shots that I can put 80% power into on massive hyzer one side of the fairway, turn around some trees, and then when it starts to slow down in its flight, the hyzer pulls it back to a slow fade to the left for an entire S. And I'm talking capitalized. Nothing prettier than that, I swear. Or if you want to see something crushed in a tailwind, another great option. What are you waiting for? Go get a Wild Honey if you want some new max distance. I can't even tell how many locals I've already got to start throwing this, and their lives have changed. Join my army and we'll take over all the courses across the damn world. Okay, that got real culty there for a second. Let me bring it back, because Goofy over here has an ape in their bag, and it's in Metal Flake of all plastics. Why in the hell would you do that? Unless that disc was made before 2013, stop. And it better not be in fucking Blizzard plastic. Just get the Juggernaut. A slower, stable version, and more than likely manageable for you. I mean, for as much as a disc equally overstable as the Tilt could be. I don't even want to tell you to stop bagging the Maya, since it's a disc I recommend to most disc golfers. If you're looking for that turn, how about checking out the Mamba? That possibly could be too flippy for what you're looking for. So how about the Vanilla? Make sure to get yourself a red one and not white. Don't question it. Just believe me before commenting about it being too overstable. If you're looking for no one else bagging the same disc as you, well, maybe intern Ben, but still go check out the Hooligan Vibe. A straight to understable driver that slower arm players should still get to fly far. Would you look at that? Another dynamic disc that I have to fix. At this point, I should put it on my resume. Have you ever tried the Tenacity? If not, this might be the next disc you keep in the bag. At least, then less people will be making fun of you. I probably still will, just because you're jumping on the MVP bandwagon, and that's more basic than a white chick wearing Uggs getting something pumpkin spice. The only gyro I'll be getting is from my boy Mr. G, the type that'll make you watch where you're dripping, not the one you'll be looking for in the woods. Even though it is so much cooler to say you bag a peach, you can't go wrong with the comment. There's gotta be a reason every 50-year-old is puring this disc through gaps smaller than, well, you know. I don't even need to say it. You guys already know I have a small dick. You might be throwing the Quake, which must be killing you on the inside. Might as well check out a new company. Clearly you already don't care what people think about you. The AGL Beach is an overstable mid-range with a double bead. But come on, all you're looking for is a disc to fade, and this one will do it. My boy Tom has already shown me the magic, and I can ensure you'll be hitting a lot of trees, but a few great shots mixed in. I think you are the only person in existence to say the Runway is one of your favorites. The only reason I can assume you have it in your bag is for something to be so overstable, not even your grip lock wrist rolls will turn over. How about you try out the Peppermint then? Should give a similar flight, but a tad slower. If you want to be even cooler, get yourself a normal mint for straighter shots. It's like buying an already beat up version of the Peppermint to complement it right away instead of having to beat one in. Covers all your bases from the beginning. Why the fuck would you ever take the Mako 3 out of the bag? The only reason I stopped throwing mine was because I gave it to a beginner while he was still learning. Honestly, one of the best straight flying mid-ranges out the box. The closest I've thrown is something like an MD1. This will allow players to put some power into without worrying of it completely turning over, and as time goes on, we'll start flying straighter and straighter. I've always been told the Wave is like the Wraith, but I'm not going to take the easy way out and suggest that like the 5 other times I did this video. Instead, I'll go with a relative, that being the DD. No, not that dynamic shit, but the Discmania DD, one of the original molds. Used to be one of the most understable discs they made. Not sure where it is now with all the other crap they've been making. Slower arm players will love this disc, getting a natural turn that should even come back. And for those intermediate players stepping up in their game, can put some nasty hyzer flips that finesse around every tree in the woods, or a disc that can hold the turnover nearly its entire flight. It's 2024 and you're still rocking a Buzz. Okay, weirdo. I hate to sound like one of those gyro cucks, but if you haven't already tried out the Hex, you should. One of the best feeling mid-ranges and allegedly supposed to fit into anyone's bag. But that just sounds like one of those fucking marketing schemes. If you're still holding out on that MVP shit, which I don't blame you, get yourself a Barry. It's a pretty sick straight flying all-purpose mid that will hold the line you put it on. Unless you plan on becoming a US president, let's stay away from the drones. If you're so adamant on throwing an overstable mid, then how about the Mutant? That's if you can get past the awful hand feel, but you already were throwing the drone, so clearly not an issue. And that's all I had time for today. This video took way longer than I expected it to. First time in my life I've ever been able to say that. But I didn't want to give some bullshit suggestions, and that takes time. Like way more time than I expected. But if this video can get 500 likes, I'll do it again, because it was pretty fun. Shout out to Drew for helping me find the disc recommendations. I would say he did a good job, but if you don't agree with some, totally all his fault. Thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. Go check out me ranking every single Innova disc they've ever made, and I will literally appreciate you forever. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to see more videos like this, and if you want to support even more, consider becoming a member for exclusive behind-the-scenes unfiltered content. Oh yeah, and if you want to see that Innova video, check it out right here.